And he said, Wim, I watched some of your videos. You talk way too fast. I can't translate that fast. Slow down. So I'm going to do my very best. But it's difficult because this is really exciting material. Now, you've already heard from SC as he spoke to Cloudera by the numbers. We're an organization that have been in business for a good while, and our customers collectively manage more than 30 exabytes worth of data. That's the amount of data that rivals some of the hyperscalers in terms of size. We're an organization that has been going for a while, and we have more than $1 billion in revenue and rising. It shows how we grow in the market. And the global 2,000 companies, they trust Cloudera with their data and most intensive data problems, data challenges. We help them address just those. SC already showed you this slide as well. It simply shows how not only do the top, however many, top 10, top 5 organizations trust Cloudera, we're also applicable to any organization out there. It does not really matter what industry that you're in or what challenges that you're looking to address. Every single industry works on data, and Cloudera does data. When you think about all these different industries, they have their own use cases. They call them different things. If I'm in retail, maybe I want to do hyper-personalization based on customer data in order to sell just the right item to just the right customer at just the right price. If I'm in manufacturing, I want to bring together personnel, people, resources with parts, with predicting when machinery is going to fail in order to do perfect optimization of my processes. Or maybe I'm just looking to protect my company from cybersecurity or from fraud. It does not really matter what I in my industry call this use case. The foundation is the same, data. And the use case type is always one of 3 things. I would like to grow my business, I would like to optimize processes, or I'd like to protect my business. Cloudera helps with all of these use cases. And of course, what we're all chasing is the innovation that we have today, AI. There is tremendous opportunity to be had from adopting this innovation inside our organizations. The likes of Jensen Huang, he talks about AI is going to be as fundamental for businesses as electricity and the internet is. And Dell talks about if you're not already doing AI inside your organization, you're already behind, you're already playing catch up. It's clear. AI is going to be a big part of our organizations. And AI very often starts in cloud. But we all know the hype of decades ago where we were talking about we need to move to the cloud, we need to be cloud first. That is something that has now well and truly been, well, rejected. The cloud is one infrastructure, but certainly also the infrastructure that we have in our data centers. And therefore the state that we are now in is one where we will have both cloud, yes of course, but we will also have our data centers as equal parts in this resource cloud that we use in order to work with our data and our analytics. And it is exactly these elements that Cloudera helps you with. This is how we build our platform. Yes, we focus on delivering a cloud-like experience, the same agility and flexibility that you have in cloud to any infrastructure, so that you can use your data wherever it resides for AI. As SC said, data anywhere for AI everywhere. And there are 3 strategic parts that Cloudera focuses on to do just that. Right at the top, we deliver cloud experience on all infrastructures. So you can leverage the data center as well as cloud in exactly the same way. We bring a unified data lakehouse to bring together this data, work with your data anywhere in a safe and compliant, in a secure and governed manner. And ultimately, although traditional dashboards haven't gone away, ultimately we're striving to accelerate enterprise as well as agentic AI. Those are the 3 strategic focus areas for our organization. And there are very good reasons why we are focusing on these 3 areas. Because when you are deploying AI, you need to make sure you do it in a trusted manner, in an explainable manner, and focused on outcomes. Trust in AI is very important. And trust is oftentimes when you can run the AI in the infrastructure that you have chosen, and sometimes that you own as well. AI needs to run where you want it to run, not where a cloud provider tells you you can run it. AI needs to be explainable. And explainability is not just from being able to demonstrate how the models get to the various recommendations and the outcomes that they have. It also comes from having a foundation of known and understood data. The data fabric, for example, as a manner of doing just that. And then finally, AI needs to be focused on outcomes. We are no longer in a time where we can kick the tires and try and do some experiments with AI to see if it's going to deliver what we want. No, now is the time for AI to prove the business value in our organizations. And Cloudera helps with that. So, we don't do this alone. We have an ecosystem of AI partners, and you've also seen some of the sponsors. We have an ecosystem of AI partners which is growing. It is an indication of the evolution of AI itself and the maturity of the function. 2 years ago, when we first spoke about the ecosystem for AI, we had just a few organizations. There was AWS, there was Pinecone, there was Crew AI, and there was NVIDIA. But look at this now, look at how it's grown. Our ecosystem now consists of 12 organizations. If you look at the wider Cloudera ecosystem, it's even bigger. But we're also bringing in Anthropic, ServiceNow, even Snowflake, and many other organizations. All brought together in order to drive AI for your business. And that brings you to very nice and complete solutions to be able to deploy AI inside your own data center. You can think of this as AI in a box. Dell provides the secure hardware that, together with NVIDIA chips, is perfectly focused on dealing with both data as well as AI. And that's, of course, where Cloudera as a platform comes into its own. And you choose the models that you would like to contextualize, that you would like to bring inside your business in order to then deploy the use cases that you see on the right-hand side. Again, depending on your industry, you may call them different things, but it will always come down to growing your business, optimizing processes, or securing your business. And there are hundreds of Cloudera customers that are deploying different use cases for their organizations. And they're doing that not just in cloud, but also in the data center. And the reason why I ended on data center is because there is a very distinct benefit of doing AI in your own data center. Think about it in 2 different ways. I can deploy AI in the cloud. And the more use cases I deploy in the cloud, the more I need to pay my cloud provider. My costs on resource consumption is going up the more use cases I deploy. Now compare this to AI deployed in my data center. I own the hardware. I've licensed the software. The more AI use cases I deploy to my data center, the more value I am getting from it. The return on my investment am I getting? My compute costs are predictable, my licensing costs are static, and I now get the economies of scale. This is what you want, because you want to deploy as many value-creating AI use cases as you can. But AI is nothing without that explainability, without being able to show the pedigree of the data. And this is exactly where Cloudera invested in the past year as well. We acquired a company called Octopi, and we've now folded it into the Cloudera Octopi data lineage capability. It is looking at the metadata across your entire enterprise estate, looking at data sources that sit outside Cloudera, looking at how data sources are combined to create new data sources, to create data pipelines, and getting a complete overview into anything and everything that's happening from a data lineage and metadata perspective inside your organization. This is the foundation that you need to be able to identify where my valuable data sits and be able to, in a safe and compliant manner, and also a very automated manner, Octopi, with complete hands-off in just a few hours, can get you a map of your metadata inside your organization. So, complete view of metadata, bringing cloud native and cloud experience to the data center. We do that through the data services on premises, and we just released version 1.5.5 for this. That is now available also in the to run on top of the long-term support versions of Cloudera Base 7.3.2 and 7.1.9. What's new about this? Well, it is the most robust and most secure set of data services that you can deploy in your data center. We now bring AI capabilities all the way from model contextualization and model development to model inferencing in your own data center, in your complete control. We make it faster and easier to onboard data pipelines with Cloudera Data Engineering. We make it easier to access data through Cloudera Data Warehouse. But I also mentioned it's not just the data center, it's hybrid. Hybrid is critical to be able to take advantage of this complete flexibility of anything that sits in your data center and anything that sits in cloud or multiple clouds. It's absolutely critical that you have a choice, and your choice is often determined by where your data can live. Data privacy regulation, like PIPA here in Korea, but call it a different abbreviation in many different countries around the world. Being able to deploy to the infrastructure that makes most sense allows you to get the highest degree of efficiency, and sometimes that is because you have GPUs in your data centers, other times it's because you can get really cheap resource in the cloud. It's about optimizing that total cost of ownership and maximizing the return on investment, so that also you can ensure that you get the fastest response times as and when is needed. And in order to do that, we now made our next investment. We acquired a company, the third company that we acquired so far, called Tycoon, to do just that, to be able to deliver Cloudera's platform to any infrastructure in a single pane of glass in a consistent manner. So that you can take those data services, you can take Cloudera AI, Cloudera Data Engineering, Cloudera Data Warehousing, and with a single click, deploy it to the data center or to cloud. It doesn't matter anymore. The process is exactly the same for managing, for deploying, for upgrading. It is being able to deploy the complete platform of Cloudera, but also to be able to add your own third-party engines. Of course, We provide great technology, we provide great engines, but sometimes you'd like to use just something else. Maybe you want to use Starox, maybe you want to use Spark 4, maybe you want to use I don't know what. We know the world is bigger than Cloudera, and we will allow you to deploy engines beyond our own platform. And we do that so that you can bring this cloud wherever you need it to be, whether that's your data center, Amazon's clouds, Microsoft's clouds, Google Cloud, or whatever else is out there. So remember I just spoke about we released Cloudera Data Services 155 on premises. You can scrap on premises. Now it will no longer matter where it is deployed, and rather we'll talk about Cloudera Data Services. Cloudera Data Services 2.0. There is no longer a difference between it being deployed in cloud or being deployed in the data center. It is exactly the same data service released at exactly the same time in any infrastructure. Upgrading becomes easy, deploying even easier. So now you can think about the Cloudera platform as an architecture where your infrastructure, your resources are central. And with a fabric of Cloudera Kubernetes along the outside, you can deploy to wherever it is it's needed. With a data fabric, you can get an insight into any and all of the data to know and understand what it means from a business perspective and deploy it. You can connect any data storage, both Cloudera's data storage as well as other data storage. You can deploy your data services, the Cloudera data services, or any of the third-party engines, so that you can implement your analytics, you can get your insights, you can get the value from your data, and do that in either a no-code and low-code way, and you'll hear later on from Chris about AI Agent Studio, or you can do it in the traditional high-code way. This is what the Cloudera platform is evolving into. And it is not a vision that I'm painting for a year, 18 months down the line. This is coming in the next quarter. This is coming from the first quarter of next year, where we will make these data services available to be deployed anywhere with a single click of a button. We'll start with Cloudera AI, we'll add data warehouse, we'll add data engineering, we will add the ability for you to bring your own engine to the Cloudera platform and let it work with the data that we secure and govern inside Cloudera. We're building the platform of the future. So with that, I think it is clear we have a very strong vision, and it's not a vision that's going to take decades to deliver. No, it is a vision that is happening next year. We focus on bringing AI to your data, regardless of where it lives. We are the only platform that delivers those data analytics and AI to wherever it is that you need them to be, and we allow you, we empower you to transform all that data of any structure or any form into a platform anywhere. And to do that, we focus on being able to deliver cloud anywhere, any infrastructure, for you to work with any data, even data that is not stored in Cloudera's platform, so that you can accelerate the deployment of enterprise and agentic AI. I'm excited, and I hope that you're excited about this too. With that, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to be here.